Hello everyone, it's Beezy. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you all are doing so well. Just like with my Bob's Burgers video, I wanted to bring more wholesome videos to my channel. I want to start introducing real and hardworking artists, especially with all the rise of AI and celebrities who fail to speak up. I want to start making these videos like once a month with a few select artists in each video. The art can range from paintings, drawing, music, sculpting, any art you can think of that is done by the human mind and soul. Basically, what I did is I sent off a list of questions to a few selected artists, and I had them answer the questions with a video response or a written response. With the video responses, I will just go ahead and show you the video responses, and then with the written responses, I will be the one reading them to you. The artists I will be introducing today are X-Eyes, Alien Gothm, Madeline Sa Lenora. If I said that wrong, I'm so sorry. Please correct me if I say anything wrong. Horror Honey, Yelli, Cozy, and Your Friend the Witch. This one's a little special because I'm also showcasing my partners. He goes by X Eyes. He didn't really answer the questions, and that's okay. I just kind of wanted to show his art just like in appreciation. I'm honestly so lucky to see the hard work and dedication that he has put into his work. So appreciative of everything that he does for this family while also managing, working on his art. So honored to be drawn and be a muse for him. He truly is amazing. Make sure that you go and follow him on Instagram. If you like manga, go check out his manga on globalcomics.com. I will post the link in the description below. Next, we have Cozy. Cozy is a very close friend of mine. She has helped me through so much. We have a lot of similarities. She is my best friend, and I'm so proud of her. Here is her response to my questions.
Hi, I'm Cozy. I'm a dark alternative artist. I fall somewhere between the genre of trap metal and hyperpop, usually. I started my art journey as soon as I was born, pretty much. But it didn't start with music, actually. I was much more of a visual artist. When I was just like super little, I would organize my blocks symmetrically. Anytime I would draw, if I draw a circle over here, I'd draw a circle over here. If I drew a shape over here, I'd draw the same shape over here, but flipped. I've just always had sort of the artist eye and also the artist ear. I understood harmonizing at a very young age. I just come from a very artistic and especially musically keen family. I didn't start actually making music until I was about 19 or 20 years old. I actually started making music on the ukulele. And then I became homeless, and then I was kind of like, this little ukulele is not really doing it, not really cutting it for what I'm trying to express. Like, it just wasn't enough. I needed a new medium to express these really big, extreme, horrible feelings. Now I'm scared of everything, in and out of my head, in and out of my head. So I taught myself how to make beats at like 22, and I am today. So if anyone listens to my music, they learn pretty quickly. I am ex-Mormon, just like Gothbeezy actually. That's kind of how we became close friends, is she found me on TikTok and was like, hey, I was ex-Mormon, or I was Mormon too. And I was like, oh my god. If we're talking about music influences, definitely Ice Peak, Poppy, Jasmine Bean. Something that inspires me, that was a source of pain and sadness, and a little bit of shame, but is now a source of motivation, is that growing up, I had to watch my dad support my brother in his band and his music and not mine. If anybody knows who my brother is, I'm not going to name him or his band. If you know, you know. And I am a good sport. Like, he's very talented. He deserves all the excitement and the hype and the success that he has. It just makes me wonder if, if I would have had the same success if given the same support. My dad made sure that I knew that he hated my music. He wasn't going to be supporting it like he supports my brother's music. I remember not being allowed to listen to a lot of the same music that my brother was allowed to listen to. Just growing up Mormon is like, girls are not supposed to get into that kind of stuff. My dad would always tell me, it's your music is too dark, it's too witchy, it's uncomfortable, it needs to be more uplifting. Little does he know that I have uplifted many, many people with my music. I mean, I get messages from people all the time telling me how cathartic listening to my music was, telling me how they felt like understood, like I was talking to them. That shit's uplifting, not only for them, but that uplifts me. Like, a big source of my inspiration are my listeners. My favorite piece personally, at least my favorite piece that is available on stream right now, is Dead Bish. Because the beat is really cool, the vibe, it's super dark and awesome and like really trap metal-y, really hard and intense. And the lyrics, Dead Bish, it's about growth, it's about ego death. It's about having to painfully transcend parts of yourself over and over and over again in order to ascend to a higher consciousness. It hurts, it's hard, it's lonely, but it's so necessary and it's so empowering and it's so liberating. Confronting your shadow, like, not everyone has the strength to do it, but the people who do are a force to be reckoned with. Don't ever try to fuck with one who has mastered their demons. We get nasty, and I got an army, call me Legion. Smoke up to the mirror.
Hey y'all, so my camera did not record the last half of that, and I'm so frustrated because I've already tried to record this 3 separate times already and I am pooped. So I'm just gonna record this last part on my phone. It's just a little bit easier. I just want to say thank you so much, Gothbeezy, for featuring myself and all these other amazing fellow artists. Your channel is so awesome and you're just such a big inspiration. Everything you stand for, you're such a beauty and you're a powerhouse, and I love you so much. And to everyone else, if you have not heard of me before, go ahead and follow me on Instagram, little.cozy, and you can listen to my music on most major streaming platforms.
Now we have Horror Honey. I absolutely love her art style and I was instantly drawn to it. I'm a huge horror fan, so I love anything that's weird and creepy, and her art is just so weird and so creepy. And I promise, Horror Honey, I promise that that is a compliment. Here's Horror Honey's responses to the questions. So the first question is, tell me when you started your journey. Horror Honey says, I started my art journey when I was very young. I used to stay after school to work on art projects for book fairs and parades in elementary school. I loved drawing from a very young age, but didn't take to painting until I was in freshman year, which I hated it. And then my art teacher pushed me to learn more about it. Then I take extra classes online to study more until I really fell in love with it. Next question, what inspired you? I'd say what inspired me was wanting an escape from the life I had. I was going through a lot. Art was something I could control and find comfort in. I often couldn't find words for what I was feeling. I had big emotions, and painting really gave me that outlet and voice I didn't have. Of course, horror movies and Adult Swim, old Cartoon Network had a huge influence on my style and still does. Their question, what is your favorite piece? My favorite piece is probably one of the most poorly executed pieces. They are called The Twins. I have kept this painting with me since I was 16, 17. I painted them in one of my hardest times of my life. They appeared ugly and off to others, but to me they were my comfort. I spent a lot of time alone on heavy medication that brought out the worst in me. I felt like they saw everything. I definitely have other favorites now. This one will always stick with me. Next question, a few fun facts about yourself. I love cemeteries, like a lot. I have books on them, and everywhere I travel, my husband and I always plan to see what cemeteries they have. I dabble in other arts like makeup and sewing, custom shirts, and clay. Last fun fact would be I guess that I'm from Washington. I miss Washington so bad. I grew up in Lacey, Washington, and spent most of my life there, and Olympia. Her honey drew me. Look how amazing that is. I absolutely love it. And then this is one of her other prints. Just amazing. I haven't gotten the frame yet, and I really need to. Thank you so much, Horror Honey, for your response. Now we have Alien Gothm. I have yet to get tattooed by her, but it is literally a goal and something that I want to one day. Live close, but not close enough to each other. It's like close and then it's too far. I absolutely love her work and what she stands for within our goth community. It has been so cool watching her grow. Her responses to the question.
I've always been artistically inclined. Ever since I was a kid, I was always drawing on everything, and it's really what got me through some of the hardest parts of my life. So growing up in a very strict religious household really didn't allow me to have the space to express myself or try different things. So for me, art was my safe place. It was a place that I could be free to express myself and share my feelings in more forms than just words. I was homeless at the age of 18, and then when I got pregnant with my son, ended up serving and bartending for some years. Throughout that time, I just was in survival mode. I wasn't really pursuing anything. I was just trying to make ends meet. And it was kind of funny because I would make these little doodles for my coworkers and the regulars at the restaurant. And I wasn't really taking it seriously. I was just making my little doodles. And they were like, Kate, why haven't you done anything with this? And I was like, who, me? Yeah, you're really talented. You should like be a tattoo artist or something. And that did sound really cool to me. And that was definitely something that I thought about as a kid, but just didn't believe in myself, really. So it took the belief of others, basically, for me to be like, oh yeah, I could do something with this. Like, I could. And I really started toying around with the idea, and I told my partner, and he was like, well, what are you waiting for? And I guess I was waiting for the perfect moment and realized that moment would never come unless I made that happen. So I started looking into loans and grants because I didn't have the money for that. I had no clue where to start. And I ended up applying for a loan through the local community college, and I got approved for $5,000, which is half of my tuition. And after that, I was like, that's a sign. I need to take this opportunity. I can't say no to this. Right after that, I took out a loan on myself to cover the rest of the tuition and supplies, and I started my tattoo journey. It was a worthy investment, for sure. I was definitely very committed to this journey. It went by like a blink of an eye. Within a year, I got through school. I went and took the state test for tattooing, and I ended up becoming a certified tattoo artist in the state of Oregon. So yeah, that is how I started my professional art journey, and a little bit about my backstory too. So yeah, art has always been very natural, organic. I've always felt the need to create. Even when it comes down to my makeup, I just feel it in my bones. And my partner also really encouraged me and pushed me to take the next steps that I needed to do to pursue my career and ultimately do what was best for me. So I really appreciate him for that. He's been there for me this whole entire time, and I could not appreciate him enough, honestly. Like, I truly don't think I would be where I'm at today if it wasn't for my partner supporting me with all my crazy endeavors. I feel really lucky for that. Sorry to get all cheesy. In my decision-making process, when it came to becoming a tattoo artist, I also really just wanted to do something that inspired others. I wanted to do something that could give back to my community and that was more meaningful than what I felt like I was doing at the time. And I really did enjoy the customer service part of being a waitress. So I knew that I wanted that personal interaction with my clients. And so I just knew that tattooing would be perfect because I really thrive off of that one-on-one interaction. And now that I'm a tattoo artist, I really do feel like it's so fulfilling, and it does really make me feel like I'm doing something that benefits others. That's all I really wanted out of my life. After everything that I had gone through, I didn't think that I would be here. So being able to bring meaning to life now is so important to me, and to be able to leave something that can inspire others too, it just means the world to me. That's what I do, and that is definitely a big inspiration for me as well. My favorite piece is this one landscape tattoo that I did where I painted the picture first on canvas and then transferred it onto his skin. So now he has a tattoo of a painting that I did on his whole arm. So I just thought that was really cool. And lastly, a few fun facts about me. Oh, I love the Alien franchise. Okay, don't even get me started because I nerd out on all the Alien movies, like Alien versus Predator. I love sci-fi. I love that it's based on H.R. Geiger's artwork. I'm obsessed. Another fun fact, this one's kind of cringy, but I did in fact read the Warrior Cats books growing up. Yeah, I was that girl. I loved the Warrior Cats books, so the more you know.
The amazing artists that we have today: Madeline, Sa, Lenara. And I think I'm saying that right. I don't know if I am. I'm so sorry if I'm messing that up. We had the pleasure of meeting her, and she is so strong and resilient, very kind, and truly an amazing songwriter, singer, and mother. Her songs hit very deep for me as someone going through heartache with my own mother. Her song, Mother Dearest, makes me cry every single time.
Traumatic bonding, the bridge is burning, the clock is always turning. A mother to who? You show me up, spit me out, curse my name and run your mouth, but you can't silence me.
Her responses to the question: what inspired you? I started teaching myself harsh vocals about a year ago. I genuinely never thought I could do it, but one day I was just determined to fucking learn, no matter what. I always had a talent to mimic or imitate voices, so I used that to my advantage. And I realized I was already using harsh vocals daily, just by being annoying.
So you want to learn how to sound like that? You absolutely fucking can, because if I did it, then you can fucking do it. I'm Salinara. I am a heavy vocalist. I use a lot of distortion in my music. You can listen to anything that I have made on Spotify, and I have a lot more coming in the future. But if I learned how to do harsh vocals, then you can learn how to do harsh vocals. If you can speak, you can sing, and if you can sing, you can do distortion. I started in August, and I started with just Fry screaming, But now I know how to do false chords, and I just figured out how to do like the pig squeals or the that everybody talks about. And I'm not great at it yet, but that's the point. You're gonna sound like a cat that was put into a toaster. And that's just how it goes. You're not gonna be good off of the bat, and that's fine. But I would suggest these things starting out. 1, go to YouTube and type in vocal warm-ups for harsh vocals. Do that shit. You want to warm up first, because otherwise you're going to hurt yourself, and then you're going to really fuck up, and then you're going to get discouraged and give up. Don't do that.
So I just had to apply proper techniques. I find my inspiration through my spiritual side. I'm quite unorthodox and use unconventional ways to write my music. I'll have a song made from the most random things, and I just have to create it right then and there. For an example, I was on Facebook and saw a post about spiders, and one contained a cytotoxin? Sorry. And I thought, wow, that's a sick word, and created the full lyrics to cytotoxin right there to be my music. It is a ritual, and I use it to craft my manifestations and dreams into reality. I use my past to shed light on hard topics and self-hate, toxic cycles, to use music as alchemy with emotion, and that leads me to my favorite song I've created that's not released yet, called Sophia. It fully encapsulates the divine feminine, the dark, the rejected, and the unforgiving life that women have, and the fact that we are all made whole, never lacking. We are a portal to creating life, and it's a call back to power for all the feminine beings and power of the gnosis over religion or dogma. A few facts. I'm the oldest of the 10 fucking siblings. That's exactly how she worded it. I currently work in cannabis cultivation and have been for 7 years. I'm a mother of 3. My favorite shows of all time are the Lord of the Rings trilogy, Trailer Park Boys, and I also love cryptids. Listen to her music. It's so good. I am obsessed. She's amazing. Next up, we have Your Friend the Witch. Your Friend the Witch, Brooklyn, has worked very hard on a book for many years. I actually read it in 2 whole days. Thank you so much for sending it to me. It is called Vanessa Burns. And oh my god, you guys, when I tell you that I read it in 2 days, I read it in 2 days. 592 pages. Holy crap. If you love dark, witchy horror, this is the book for you. I'm so excited for more. Oh my god. Get a copy. I'll put the link in the description below. Anyways, here are her answers to the questions. When you started your journey. I began writing Vanessa Burns when I first found out I was pregnant with my daughter in October 2021. It was a difficult time. I was battling a condition called hyperemesis gravidarum, which caused severe persistent nausea and vomiting. For me, it meant being sick 10 to 15 times a day for over a year. Because of how fragile my health was, I wasn't able to work, so I turned inward and poured everything I had into my art, into my writing. Started as a way to cope, became something much bigger. What inspired you? Early one October morning, I was watching a show on the Discovery Channel called Edge of Alaska. In one episode, they featured an abandoned ghost town known as Connecticut mining town. I was completely captivated by it. The towering, weathered buildings are built into the mountainside, their deep red paint set against the surrounding forest. The contrast was haunting and unforgivable. Since I was a child, I experienced hypnopompic hallucinations, a condition that occurs in the fragile state between dreaming and waking. It can feel like waking up inside a dream, where visual and auditory hallucinations linger for several minutes. Not long after watching that episode, I had one of those experiences. I woke up to the sound of a little girl crying. In that in-between state, I saw her clearly. A small figure in a pink and white dress, clutching a blood-soaked teddy bear. She stood at the edge of an Alaskan forest, the moon illuminating the trees and those same deep red buildings, almost as if they were bleeding into the landscape. When I fully came to, I did what I always do. I wrote everything down in my dream journal. That moment became the spark. From there, the story, Vanessa Burns, began to take shape. What is your book about? Vanessa Burns is a psychological horror story told through the eye of its main character, Vanessa, a young woman forced to confront the truth buried within her family and the town she grew up in. After her mother's disturbing disappearance, Vanessa is left deeply traumatized, struggling with the trust, grief, and growing sense that something is terribly wrong beneath the surface of her life. Her father, the town sheriff, becomes increasingly unpredictable, creating an environment of fear and uncertainty for Vanessa and her older brother, Coulter. As his behavior grows more erratic, Vanessa begins to question everything she thought she knew about her family, her past, and herself. When Vanessa discovers an abandoned well, something her father and his deputies seem intent on guarding, it becomes a turning point. What once feels like a quiet unease begins to unravel into something much darker, pulling her deeper into the mystery surrounding her mother's disappearance and other missing women in the town. As the story unfolds, the line between reality and perception begins to blur. Vanessa is forced to confront generational trauma, buried truths, and the possibility that the curse haunting her family may be far more real and far more dangerous than she ever imagined. At its core, the book explores themes of control, inherited darkness, and what happens when people are meant to protect you become the ones you fear the most. I have had a deep passion for writing as long as I can remember. I was creating little books as early as kindergarten. Storytelling has always been a form of art and self expression. In high school, I became known by my English teachers as an aspiring writer. I took advanced courses whenever I could and spent a lot of time learning under mentors and truly shaped my voice and confidence. Who truly shaped my voice and confidence? I had every intuition of pursuing a degree in the creative writing, but due to financial limitations, that path wasn't accessible to me at the right time. Though it's something I may revisit in the future. I took a self-driven route. I invested in writing classes both online and in person, and spent years independently studying grammar, story structure, drafting, and editing. Everything I built has come from persistence, discipline, and genuine love of the craft. It's been a long journey, but it's also shown me that with enough dedication, you can create your own path and bring your dream to life, even without the traditional roadmap. What's your favorite chapter in the book and why, without giving too much away? My favorite chapter is chapter 11. It dives into the backstory of Vanessa's maternal grandparents, Grandma Dolly and Grandma Ed, and reveals a piece of her family's past that is both haunting and deeply unsettling. Without giving too much away, it introduces a terrifying presence that leaves a lasting mark on Vanessa and her brother Coulter. It's one of those moments in the story that doesn't just pass, it lingers. The psychological impact of what they experience follows Vanessa into later chapters, shaping her understanding of her family and what she's up against. I love this chapter because it ties so many elements together. It adds depth to the generational aspect of the story and ultimately feeds into a circle moment that changes everything for Vanessa. And I just have to say, I absolutely loved that chapter. I loved that chapter as well. It was so spooky and so scary and unsettling. And I didn't know what was coming. Like, sometimes you feel like you could predict stuff, but this I was like, what is this? What is actually happening? I was so scared for Vanessa and Coulter. I was like, what is this? So when I tell you guys, I'm telling you guys, trust. Anyways, last question. A few fun facts about you. A few fun facts about me. I've been practicing witch for over 15 years, and I've had a deep fascination with the paranormal and occult since I was a child. I've also been highly intuitive. I experience what many people describe as meaning I sometimes have a strong sense of knowing, hear thoughts that feel distant from my usual inner voice, or experience vivid mental imagery and dreams that later seem to connect to real events. Earliest memories of this was when I was about 5 years old. I was in the car with my mom after she picked me up a Happy Meal. We were stopped at a light. Out of nowhere, I had a sudden mental image of cars colliding and heard the sounds of metal. Crunching, I remember asking her, "What are car crashes like?" And before she could answer, we were hit head on by a driver who had suffered a medical emergency. It was a traumatic experience, and it stayed with me. Moments like that shaped how I understand my intuition and imagination. and they've deeply influenced my writing. A lot of the theme in Vanessa Burns blur the line between perception and reality, fear and the unknown. These themes come from experiences I've carried with me since childhood. Other information. I'm a single mom to my daughter Ophelia, and a dog mom to a chaotic but lovable Doberman Lab mix named Hades. I also have a cat who has been my familiar for 12 years, Crowley. Outside writing, I work in the substance abuse and mental health field. It's something I'm deeply passionate about. Helping people heal, grow, and see themselves in a new light is incredibly important to me. If there's anything I hope to accomplish in this life, it's to make a positive impact both through my work and raising my daughter to be kind, compassionate, and empathetic toward people from all walks of life. At my core, I truly believe we are more connected than we realize. No matter our differences, there's a shared humanity that ties us together. I think the more we lead with understanding, empathy, and kindness, the better the world becomes. There's something really beautiful about that. Beautiful book, beautiful words. You can definitely tell that she's a writer by how she wrote her responses. Last but not least, we have Yelli. I love, and if I'm saying this wrong, I'm so sorry. I love how Yelli uses their platform to call out awful people online and using their awesome style to bring a form of justice. As a mother, seeing you call out predators with your platform gives me a lot of hope, and I'm just really appreciative of what you do. Yelli sent in a video response, so I'm gonna go ahead and play that.
Hi, my name is Yelli, and I go by Your Expired TF on Instagram, and I can't wait to tell you guys a little bit more about myself and my art journey. So, question number 1. So, when did I start my art journey? I started when I was 5. I would basically just go out to Burger King, McDonald's, Taco Bueno, basically every restaurant where my family took me, and I would always just bring a crayon and paper because I wasn't an iPad kid at all. They kind of taught me that I just need to use my mind, or I need to use my hands, so I wasn't really much into technology when I was a kid. I would just draw all the time basically. And then I started growing up and I started looking more into anime because I noticed that a lot of people, a lot of what they draw is inspired by anime. So I started watching it and stuff, and I really like the art style. It's really cute. I like the way they make the girls with long pink hair and with big eyes, and I guess that's what really attracted me to just draw them. And so I was just I would just basically look at Pinterest, and I would see the different styles that people would draw of anime characters, and I would just find the really weird ones. Like, it would attract me basically. I would be like, wow, I like that weird style. It's really like eye-catching. Like, I like it. So I guess I kind of grew from there, and I'll just copy different styles. I would say my favorite piece, I don't really usually show this type of art, but it's, like colorful, really gross tech, weird. I like more of the scary vibe, creepy vibe, kind of like that. I would say for right now, this is my favorite piece. You can kind of see the anime in it and the creepiness in it. So yeah. A few fun facts about me is that I've been to Japan. I speak Japanese. I love onions. I don't know. I eat onions every single day. Every day. If you were to ever talk to me, my breath would probably smell like onions, so.
Absolutely love all these artists with all my heart. You guys are phenomenal, creative, amazing, and all unique in your own ways. And I really love that. I love that about real art, real people. I hope my viewers enjoyed this video, and I'm excited to do more. Please give these artists a follow and support them. If you can, hype the video, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thank you so much, you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.